They murdered that little boy, man.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another reaction with your host, the Ignorant Eclectic Mad Genius, and today we are checking out Flacco. He has some new updates on the whole Noah situation, and yeah, uh, I'm not able to find everything, but I know Flacco he's done his due diligence, and yeah, let me stop talking. Hit that like, hit that sub, tell a friend, man. Let's do this.
What Nolan Wall's parents found in his phone confirms beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they murdered that little boy, man. They murder him, and the police, the law enforcement agencies, the judges, coroners, everybody in that city responsible for this investigation is working in cahoots to make sure they get away with it. That little boy was murdered by some powerful people in that city, and they making sure them powerful people don't get held accountable. Nolan Wall's family has retained the services of Benjamin Crump to ensure Nolan gets justice,
and as you can see, he's half Asian.
However that may be. They brought Benjamin Crump in to launch a private investigation into the death of Nolan, because whatever they have seen up until this point, they've seen enough to know they can't trust the local police department. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the only option they had if you take the circumstance into consideration. If this does end up being a murder investigation, if Nolan was murdered, one of the suspects, Warren Mama, is a sitting judge in the city. It's a small town. They all grew up together. The police department, the sheriffs, the detectives, people who were investigating this probably is coming in with biases. Oh, nah, Warren wouldn't do no such. Nah, not Ashley's boy. Ashley's boy will do no such thing. What? Wyatt, Eric? Nah, those are good boys. So they're already coming in with a biased eyes and a biased lens. They're going into this assuming these people did nothing wrong and Nolan just got drunk and drowned. Even though every single detail, every single evidence, every single piece of information that has come out has pointed into the opposite direction of that.
You mentioned earlier there are some contradictions.
Yes.
What gives you confidence or perhaps concern about the investigation so far?
Well, the fact that they continue to tell the family that we don't see any evidence of any foul play, even though you have students who recorded an altercation while they were on the boats of argument where you had Nolan and somebody yelling at one another on the boat. So that's the issue. And then you have the young lady make a statement and she says, well, Nolan and I finished talking and Nolan said he was going back to the boat. And then the boys on the boat said, no, Nolan told them he was going to stay with her. And so they are conflicting. She's saying he went and got on the boat. They saying he didn't get on the boat. So which is it? And all we know is Nolan is dead.
I've never seen a police department in such a hurry to close out an investigation. They have refused to take any of the new evidence into consideration. And let's slow it down for a second. The story they're giving us doesn't make sense. The story that Nolan friends are giving us doesn't make sense. And it shouldn't make sense to a trained police officer. Nolan came to Horn Island with Wyatt, Warren, and Eric. They were on the boat with Nolan. Wyatt, Warren, and Eric claim they left the island without Nolan. They have no idea where he was, even though they came together. Their excuse,
Lock all three of their ass up.
Is Nolan told us he wasn't gonna come with because he was busy talking to this chick called Katie that he liked and he hit it off with while he was on the island.
That's cap, because that Katie chick, she had came out and said that they were basically he was gonna go get on the boat with them to leave.
And Katie said, hell nah, he wasn't going home with me. We actually cut our conversation short because he told me he had to go back to the boat with his friends. So which one is it? Who do we believe? Katie or Warren, Wyatt, and Eric? The reason why I tend to believe Katie's account of things is because Ashley Cole, Warren's mama, told on themselves. Look at this right here. Look at how implausible this is, okay? She goes, Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. you would only ask your homie, hey, bro, you coming with us or you staying? We about to go. You would only ask him that when you are about to go.
Facts.
So if you last saw him at 3 p.m. and that's when you asked him, because again, according to them, they asked him, hey, you coming with or you staying? He said he's staying. Okay, cool. You would only ask that when you're about to go, right at that moment. So if you last saw him at 3, then you would have asked him that at 3, but then that wouldn't make sense, because why would you ask him that at 3 when you guys eventually left at 4:30 p.m.? So the last y'all seen Nolan was at 3 p.m. when y'all asked him, hey, you coming with, bro? We about to go. Then y'all stayed an additional hour and 30 minutes. Really? That makes sense? Really? That don't make sense at all. But this actually coincides with what Katie said, which is, oh, we cut our conversation short because he told me he was headed back to the boat with his friends because they had to go. That would mean that Nolan went back to that boat. Nolan was on that boat. Something happened on that boat. We seen an argument take place on camera of Nolan arguing with somebody on a boat.
Exactly. And like people had the like the, I guess, volume up or something like that, where you seen him arguing with another individual, well, with one of the 3 boys in front of that boat.
But the police says there's nothing to investigate. There's no foul play. It doesn't make sense. And think about it for a second, okay? So they left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water. They had an issue with the bilge pump. First off, okay, if a boat is taking on water and you guys are about 10 to 15 miles away from mainland, so these kids, these inexperienced kids, hopped on a boat that were 10 to 15 miles away from mainland, about what, a 30 to 40 minute ride. The boat was taking on water and they decided to still hop on and go 40 minutes back to mainland. How does that make sense? They gave Nolan a heads up they had to go because the boat was malfunctioning. Then they proceeded to stay an additional 1 hour and 30 minutes while the boat was malfunctioning. Then they hopped on the boat that was malfunctioning to sail 15 miles to mainland. What? What are we talking about here, man? Are y'all crazy? Are y'all insane? That's why people is looking at the police department like, yo, you guys is compromised, homie. Now, we not letting Katie off the hook either, okay? Even though I tend to believe Katie's account of things, I'm not going as far as some of the people who know Nolan. I seen some of Nolan friends on Facebook talking about, yeah, say what y'all want. I'm standing 10 toes behind Katie. She would never do nothing. I said, all it takes is a little white girl, man, to get you niggas to start shucking and jiving, man. Start buck dancing and break dancing for that white woman. Nolan is dead, and you thought the best use of your time was to come on Facebook to comfort Katie as if Katie is a victim in this situation. And another thing, Mary Polk says, I'm standing behind Katie McCormick. I understand y'all don't know her, but me and 1,000 other of us have literally slept, ate, and partied at the McCormick house. Don't forget that's Dixie's child. Nolan is dead, and the first thing you think to do is to come on Facebook to comfort Katie. What? Excuse me? Listen, as far as I'm concerned, everybody is a suspect until this gets solved. What? Sorry, you was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Too bad. Nolan's dead. At least you got your life, right? I'm sorry, boo-hoo. You got to deal with some suspicion until the investigation is over. Boo-hoo. I feel like if you care about Nolan, that's the least you can do. The least you can do is tolerate some suspicion until the investigation is over with. But y'all are disgusting. Y'all are disgusting. Y'all love for white proximity. Oh my, it is trifling. Now, Katie McCormick responded back and she goes, what's understood don't have to be said. I love y'all. Just pray for his family and his friends. I'm good. And all I can do is pray for healing over them. This is a terrible situation all in all. So, now, pray for his friends will indicate they're not friends. So I'm assuming that they probably just met there. He was trying to holler at her. Who knows, man? But with all this coming out, right, we have the timelines that don't match. We got like the fight video that came out. The police don't really care about that either way. So the kid go missing. The kid end up dead. There's a video of him arguing with somebody before his death, and they don't care about that either. Cool. So now the parents found something in his phone, and now all of a sudden the police want to seize the phone. Y'all better not. Don't forget though, the very suspicious and troubling circumstance surrounding Nolan's phone. See, Nolan friends, they claim they left him on the island and they went to the mainland on a boat that was taking water on a 40-minute sail. But they did that though. Okay, cool. So they claim they left Nolan on the island, but somehow they were still in possession of Nolan's phone. They claim he left the phone in the boat. Nolan's mama's like, hell nah, I know my son. My son got detachment issues with that phone. Ain't no way in the heck my son is staying on the island with no phone. Ain't no way in the heck my son is staying outside for multiple hours without his phone in his hand. What are you guys talking about? Heck no. Heck no. Now, eventually she went to retrieve the phone, and when she went to retrieve the phone, what she discovered in the phone blows this entire case open.
As far as we know, his mother, Christine, and his father, Elmo, say they haven't gotten any answers. They, have been asked to turn over his cell phone to the Mississippi law enforcement authorities. But even that is troubling to them because they're saying messages that were deleted from his cell phone. So they want to try to dot every I and cross every T and investigate everything.
Really?
They said it's very improbable that Nolan would not have wanted his cell phone with him if he was going to stay on the island.
Mm-hmm. The deleted text messages on his phone, his parents found that? Who found that out?
No, well, they got his phone, so they're trying to figure out there's deletions on the phone, and they're trying to look at what is that about. There's so many inconsistencies going on, and so we're going to have, with our investigators and our associates, we're going to list all the inconsistencies down. We just got onto the case yesterday, so we have been staying up late with the family, talking to friends, talking to people who were there on that 4th of July, trying to piece together what really happened to Nolan Wales.
There were things deleted in a dead man's phone that he didn't have access to. How? How?
Thank you.
There were things deleted in a dead man's phone. Understand this. If Nolan friends were the ones who got into that phone and was able to delete things, what are y'all deleting?
Yep.
What are y'all trying
to hide?
Like what exactly are y'all trying to cover up here? What? Now, I don't think they're not savvy enough not to go to recently deleted and delete that in that folder as well. I think what happens is probably the mom was pulling up to get the phone. They probably was running out of time, deleted a couple of things, ain't really have time to fully go to recently deleted and delete the rest. They got to do a full forensic of that phone and figure out what exactly got deleted, when it got deleted, everything, even the things that are out of recently deleted because it was deleted from out of that as well. Find out what it was. Also, too, here's another element. How do you get into a dead man's phone that got Face ID?
Yeah.
If, again, we're going by...
So they probably, you know what I mean, took Buddy out and basically lifted his head up and boom. Wow.
The theory here, if his friends who had possession of his phone that he allegedly left behind, how would they be able to get into that phone that had Face ID on it?
Yep.
There's only one way. Unless you like the parents, right? The family members who could probably like contact Apple and get into the damn man's phone. But if you his homies and you his friends, the only way you will get into...
No. Okay, so one of the other things that I heard, I don't know if he's gonna speak about, is so basically when the parents and a bunch of people did a or did the search of the island or whatever, they didn't find him that first day, but that second day, somehow miraculously, his body was up on the island or whatever, and then that's when they found his body. So unless they probably had his body in the boat still, drove there, you know what I mean, did what they did with the mom and stuff like that, and then when stuff started getting hot, somebody drove that boat back, or drove the boat back with Noah's body, and then placed Noah's body on that island. And then like that, and that's the reason why I'm saying that. I can't speak. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you have his dead body, you can unlock the phone with you can unlock the phone with his face and stuff like that.
To a dead man's phone that has Face ID on it is if you have access to the body. The body is on the boat.
Bingo.
You take that body, you put the phone to the body, the phone on lock, and now you have access to the phone.
Yep.
That's the only way, because can y'all
lock the mama up, lock the daddy up, lock the whole family up? Get their ass out of here.
Also amuse me as to how y'all think they got in.
And take everything. That family owns everything that they own now. I don't give a good goddamn.
To a dead man's phone with Face ID if the body wasn't on the boat? Before we even get to what they were deleting, why they deleted it, can we also, can we just start step by step? Okay, how did they get into a dead man's phone to delete something?
Mm-hmm.
It has Face ID on it. It has security measures. You can only get into that phone if that body was in your possession, and you can.
Bingo.
Cool. Bye.
Yep.
Hey, yo, get rid of this. I don't think the things that they saw were the only things that got deleted. Because them kids, if they did do it, allegedly, right? Because we dealing with mamas as judges here, but we gotta be careful, homie. If them kids did do it, they savvy enough to delete things out of recently deleted.
Mm-hmm.
I can promise you that. I think they ran out of time and just got to deleting some things last minute. I'm telling you, this is getting spooky. And the police got the nerve to say, yeah, give us the phone. Man, never give you guys the phone. Benjamin Crump is so savvy, he's taking Nolan and taking him to DC for an independent autopsy because he don't even trust the local people to do it. Because he think they're all in cahoots. And I agree.
Yeah,
I co-sign that. But the police department that has ignored all the evidence, that have rushed to quickly say, man, there's no signs of foul play here. He died. He drowned. That police.
And that's the same thing that they said when I think I said this before, but the individual from Mississippi who hung himself, but he had 2 broken legs. How, Sway? How?
Department now wants quite possibly the biggest smoking gun in this case? Hell nah. Hell nah. Send it off to an independent agency. Let them do the investigation. You better not give that police unrestricted access to that phone. That phone comes back with everything wiped out, man. All the evidence gone,
facts.
man. I'm telling y'all. But Ben Crump has confirmed, they're taking Nolan Wells for an independent autopsy because they don't trust nothing that's going on in that small town. They believe that everybody is in cahoots.
Going to have him flown to a medical examiner in Washington, D.C., where his body will be preserved to do an autopsy to study every aspect of if he had any physical injuries to his body beyond drowning.
Mm-hmm. And where are you in that process now?
The body is going to be flown today. We expect to have the results of that independent autopsy on.
We're going to wait for that autopsy, but if the theory here is he got thrown overboard, what would the autopsy show? If he was just a poor swimmer, they threw him overboard, he drowned. what would the autopsy show exactly? But we're gonna wait, man. But this is some bad stuff, man. This is some bad stuff here, bruh. It sounds like a young black boy got murdered in cold blood, and
by people he called his friends. That's the worst part, bro. The worst.
The people who allegedly did it are probably gonna get away with it because they're powerful.
I hope.
Y'all let me know in the comments.
Yeah, bro. Like that's sickening. I do want to